just need things to work sometimes, don't you? I feel like the last few months, I've just come to a moment where if I'm talking about our government, if I'm talking about like an appliance at my house, or if I'm just talking about like people in my life, like, I don't know, I've just found myself feeling this emotion lately, which is I just need this to work like it says it will. Have you felt that way recently? I've been overwhelmed with that. And I know that maybe you've had, your refrigerator break in this last season while there's a pandemic, or maybe your job just went and changed on you overnight. Maybe the things that you used to do, like the outlets you used to have, like I used to go to these stores, I used to go eat at these restaurants, I used to go on these trips, and all of that just stopped working. And it happened almost overnight without our permission. And there is, for me, this long journey, and maybe you're like me in this long journey, and I look back and I just wish that the things that told me they were going to work would work. I wish that the people who said they were going to do these things, that they would. And I find myself, if I'm just going to be a little bit honest and vulnerable, I just find myself thinking a little bit of like despair. Is it always going to be this way? Am I always going to be wishing this would work? And Christmas gets thrust into our December, whether we're ready for it or not. And maybe this episode is just a nice, kind reminder that Christmas is just, days away. And that really weird sense in your mind of, and now I need to go spend this amount of money to make people feel special and loved. I'm obligated to buy these presents. And doesn't that just like drive the despair a little deeper? Like, how can I keep up with these demands, these holidays, these expectations, the things that my family and culture say that they're asking of me? And so I just can't help but feel like I want something to finally work for me. And then, of course, we talk about God and religion and spirituality. And one of the things I have to ask is your faith, is your spirituality, is God working for you right now? Do you feel like it makes sense to you? Because I've noticed that a lot of Christians and religious people talk about God like God is reliable, God is faithful, God is steady. You can count on God. And I wonder if you're listening to this, if you are someone who feels that way. I look at a passage like one that we read oh so often at Christmas time, Isaiah chapter 9. And it starts in verse 6 where it says, "For to us a child is born. To us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders," which I think means it doesn't have to be on ours then. "And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." These are these names, these titles that this baby that's going to be born to us will be given. It's these titles, and I guess the question I have for us is, are these the titles that work for you with God? Do you feel like God is a wonderful counselor? If not, let me ask a question. Have you gone to God for counsel? Have you asked God for wisdom? Have you gone to what we call the Bible, the Word of God given to us in writing? Have you gone to it for wisdom and counsel? Do you see God as mighty, or do you see him as a crutch for weak people? Something that only people in desperation go to. Have you ever gone to God for your simple needs, your basic concerns or wants? Have you ever seen God as an everlasting Father? A Father who doesn't leave you, a Father who doesn't go away, a Father that doesn't just slip away from you, a Father who's always there. That could be a tender subject for some of us. But what if the reason I don't feel like God is an everlasting Father is because I've never asked him to be. I've never looked to him to be that. And they call him a Prince of Peace. Is there peace in your life? And if not, have you ever asked God, and have you ever given God permission to be a source of peace for you and the people around you? I just want to come to this basic idea today as we look at Isaiah 9 and as we enter the Christmas season. I want to ask the question, is there one tiny way we can give God just 10% more permission in our life to be a counselor, to be mighty for us, to be a father to us, and to be a place of peace. It might mean you have to start a discipline like praying or reading or solitude and silence and meditation or giving, or it might mean that you have to like look outside of yourself a little more for help and talk to spiritual people, other Christians, pastors. It might mean a lot of things. But would you be open to giving God, a higher power, some permission in your life? Because the promise is that this God gave us a child, a son, given for us. It was to us. And the one thing keeping you and I from enjoying that gift is our willingness to receive it, our willingness to be open to it. So I wonder, other than just maybe watching a church service this Christmas Eve, are there ways, even if it's just 10% more, you can give God a little more space, a little more room in your mind and in your soul so that you are allowing God to be something to you that God hasn't been? Because everything around us seems to not meet our expectations. And I wonder if God shouldn't be in that category. I wonder if God actually is a reliable presence we can go to no matter what we're facing.